talk to me about obviously you're a social enterprise, which is
hmm
incredible. Is a social enterprise and an NFP the same thing, or are they
No.
different? Okay.
Yeah. So we are a registered not-for-profit. So
Hmm.
if you give us money, you donate to us, we have full DGR status. You can claim that back on tax. We are essentially a public, well, not essentially, we are a public institution.
Mm,
How it works, just to put it bluntly, I can't just earn more money here and take more money. We are
yeah.
very much a charitable institution. The reason that we're a social enterprise is because to fulfill our charitable aims, we trade. So we have revenue from goods and services. So
Hmm.
that's the only thing that makes us different from a conventional charity.
Yeah.
We're in a corporate association. We have a board of directors. I'm a founding CEO. So I have, well, I shouldn't say so because a lot don't actually, which is surprising to me, but I have a seat on the board. And yeah, it operates. Yeah, I think that's something I could really explain it. We operate, sell things to fulfill our charitable, aims.
Yeah.
And it's the best kind of business. It's not the easiest, but it's the best.
Well, and that was so as soon as you
Yeah.
started talking about being a founding CEO, having a board of directors, having a seat on the board, I thought, sounds like there's some complexity being a social enterprise and or a charity. What has
Mm.
that been like for you? What's that journey been like for you?
Yeah, it's been a lot to navigate. I didn't start um, with good connections in this space. Like I
Mm.
was working, my first social enterprise I set up when I was working in a bar, really long hours. I financed a lot of it through my own wages and money, which is just not what you do. It's just not the norm. Certainly not all, but
Mm.
a lot of the more established social enterprises, at least that are more established now, as opposed to those up and coming, there is definitely change. But I'm trying to be careful with how I kind of articulate this, but there's a relative level of privilege, because if you
Yeah.
think of the resources that you need to have just to start just a conventional small business,
Yeah.
and then you think of the resources you need, and more than the resources in terms of finances, just the connections, who you need to be connected with
Yeah.
to assemble a board of directors, to understand what your financial obligations are, which I've
Mm.
whinged to you about off air. You're like, you're audited all the time. Like that's not
Mm.
something that just uh, everyone knows how to do and how to navigate. And
Yeah.
so I've definitely learned from making a lot of mistakes, I think, is probably the honest answer there. I
But
try,
that sounds like every business owner ever. I'm 12 years
yeah,
in and I'm still making mistakes.
yeah, yeah. I think definitely. I think that's across the board. I suppose running a charity, you've got public pressure to make sure that what you are doing is robust. You need robust governance. You need good governance. You need really good oversight of just every place that you're putting money, because even when you start small, we're at a much higher level now, but when you start
Mm.
small, if you're taking donations from the general public or you're getting small grants, that's someone's money. And it's really important that you do what you say you're going to do with that money. And that's something that you need a framework for, and you need people, you need human resources and more money to try to ensure those things like good governance, and that you are achieving your social impact aims, that you are paying people, you know, the right amount of wages, and all
Mm.
those things. It is a huge amount of pressure, but the model, if you can make it work for you, which I certainly have, but it's taken me a long time. I'm a huge advocate for social enterprise and always will be.